YouTube friends, my name's Jackie. Welcome to Gone Potty Gardening. Today I've bought myself a cup of tea out in the garden and I'm pondering on what jobs I've got to do first, because everything's gone wild, like I said before, and you can drive yourself insane by thinking, oh God, look at the state of it. What have I got to do? You know, it looks wild and overgrown, which it does at the moment. But I've got so many plants that I've got to plant out that, you know, you can only keep them going for so long, can't you? Like Jan said, I think it was Jan. And so yeah, I think that's my priority today. But the thing is, over the winter it was so wet and it's awful, as you all know, that I didn't get the beds prepared. So what I've got to do as I go along is sort them out before I actually put anything in them, you know. But I've got a lot of plants outside here. I've got some inside. So I'm not going to, you know, make myself ill over it. That's the saying. But I'm going to do one bed at a time. That's the best way in it to get anything sorted out. Examples of other things, like, you know, if you've got an allotment, you know, things can get out of hand quite quickly. Well, we've got as you know, we've got 1.2 acres. Well, I need to sort out the poultry fencing. All the grass is growing high, and I've got some damp proof stuff to put on the bottom, and some of these pegs. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole into that damp proof stuff and then put some pegs along the bottom so the grass doesn't grow through. But you know, that's another job. All the nettles are growing sort of underneath the electric fence right around the perimeter. That's another job. So there's always something to do, and I don't think ever at the end of the year you'll ever get on top of it. You know, it's just an ongoing thing, but it's enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but there's always something to look out for. You know, there's branches that have come down that need you know, sawing up, and there seems to be shredded. So yeah, but I think the priority for today is to get the food growing in the beds outside. I've got some, as you know from the video before, in the polytunnel, but yeah, so I'm going to do one bed at a time. I'll do a bit of filming for you in between, and yeah, that's what we're going to do really. I think first off I'm going to start with this bed here, because on the right hand side where it's all overgrown, that should be all clear for flowers and things like that, and I have got flowers to plant. So I'm going to weed all that bed. So I've weeded that big bed, and I've topped it up with that nice soil, you know, the soil we got delivered. And you see there's a couple of trays of veggies there. One's leek and the other one's onion that I grew from seed. Now that should have been put out a little while ago, but it hasn't, so, but I think it'll still be alright. And I've weeded that bed there. So before I plant up that bed, you see that area there behind the I'll show you. This area here, all by the rose bush, well, all the grass is growing in between. So what I'm going to do is weed that bit and put a bit of a wooden border and bring it in front of the arch and fill it with soil and keep it weeded, because the grass strangles the rose and it ends up getting black spot and all sorts. So while I'm going along, I'm going to do that, because that'll only interfere with the growth of that rose actually. So I'm going to get on with that next. You can see it's a bit much, isn't it? Yeah, so that's the area that I'm going to weed. I'm going to put a little border around there and fill it with earth, and so I've finished doing that other one now, and I've filled that with the soil, same thing, and sprayed it as well. So now that's that part finished. Okay, so at the side of this arch, I've only used really old pallet wood to put kind of like an edge along it, so that when I trim the grass, you know, it's easy. Plus the grass doesn't grow into the bed. So I've pulled quite a few of the tough weeds. We have a lot of these which are annoying, and they're easy to get out, but they're really thick. And that's the really thick grass that grows in your bed. So I've used some cardboard there, covered it, and I'm going to put some soil on the top and probably wood chip after that. And then I can easily use that little bit for a few little small flowers, you know, lobelia and a little bit of poppy, you know, to brighten it up. There's a couple of little blades of grass there I've just got to get out. So I'm going to fill that bed with that earth, and yeah. So far we've cleared this bed. I've put the onions and leeks there. I'm not going to plant everything until I've done this whole row up there and made sure it's all right. This end bed I usually use for flowers too. This was the idea of these end beds, that I would put flowers in them. So yeah, they've worked out really well. They've just come up. They're lovely. The Aquilegia, look. Very pretty. I love them. Yeah, they come up every year. So, yep, I'll get on and do this, and I'll be back with you in a sec. So that bit looks better now, look. I've topped it up with that soil. It's that lovely soil. It's got grit and stuff in it, so yeah, it's really good. So kind of, it'll stop the weeds growing up and straggling that rows, and I can keep it weeded from this side, you see. And yeah, I'll put a few little flowers in there. This is called, this rose is called Golden Showers. But I do notice, look, it's got a black spot. So I'm going to have to spray that. And I'll do that in a minute. You can actually see that rose has got some nice little buds coming on it, hasn't it? So it'd be a shame for it to get strangled with all that grass. That's a yellow rose, that one. So that's another little part of it done, but I have got to do the other side of the arch where the rose is kind of like a quarter of the size of that one. So I've got to do that. I've had to have my hat on because of the sun. I'm not complaining, we haven't had the sun, have we, for ages. I'll just have to watch my lupus because, yeah, if it gets me, I'll be unwell for a few days. But I sometimes forget and just get on with it. But, yeah, that's why I'm all hot. Anyway, I'm really pleased with what we're doing. I also want to, like I just say, finish that arch. And there's a pear tree there that I just want to do the same sort of thing with. Because, you know, it's easier if you've got a little border around them to put feed in them. Keep them weed free, you know. And that's what I like. I want it to be kind of easy to keep. But as you know, it has gone a bit wild, but we're getting there, aren't we? We're getting there. It definitely was trouble with all the grass growing up in there, you know, ruining the plants. So I'm so pleased with that now. I'll give it a water and a bit of a feed for the roses. And yeah. Now just look at that bed for an overgrown bed. Oh my God. But that's another job I'm going to do, get all that tidied up. So yeah, I've got my work cut out this afternoon. But all these beds on this side now are all alright. All I've got to do is put some netting over this kale. Plant the end bed up right at the top there with those onions and what do you call it? Leek. Yeah, plant the other bed up with the leek and onion. So basically now, it's this side, like I say, I've got to weed that. all that up there I'm going to chuck in for the chickens. That's old KLet. I've got to top these 2 beds up. So it's going to be a busy afternoon. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear all this bed. It's all overgrown and that's where I want to put the beans. So I'll weed it all. It's going to take me quite a while. And then I'll top the beds up with that nice soil and some... excuse me. And some feed. And then I'll be able to get the beans in. So I've cleared out these 2 beds. I used a little pickaxe, funny enough, because it was all just so compact. And I've just refilled it with the ProGrow soil, which we bought in, which is lovely soil. It's got free drainage and, you know, it's got good grit in it and food. So it'll be ideal for the runner beans. I know they're heavy feeders, but I shall feed them as well. The beans I'm going to put in here are Scarlet Emperor. I've got a big tray of these Scarlet Emperor beans that have been in the polytunnel growing, and then I put them outside to harden off, but they're very root bound, look. So here they are. And something's been nibbling them a little bit, but they're well past their time for getting them put in the ground. So I'm going to get them put in now, in the bit that I've just prepared. The stuff that I removed from the beds, you know, when I cleared it out, the donkeys polished all that off for me, so they're like mini hoovers. So they're handy. Now, runner beans is one of my favourite vegetables. It really is. I love it. I think probably my favourite meal is lamb chops, runner beans and new potatoes. So if out of all the vegetables, it's definitely one of my favourites. And they are easy to grow, you know, but I have left these a little bit longer, so... but anyway, it's not too late. Just pop them in there. And then... I shall give these all a good water tonight, even though we've got rain tomorrow. But yeah, they've got lovely little shoots coming on them. But something has been eating them while they've been outside, look. Pests. And like I say, I will give these a good feed during the growing season. Yeah, something's took the leaf right off of that one, look. They'll pick up, I'm sure. So I'm going to get on and plant the rest of the row, and I'll be back with you shortly. Today is a stunning day, it really is. And what I'm loving about it is that breeze. Yesterday it was too hot to, you know, be doing much at all, but it's lovely today, and that breeze keeps you cool. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to get on with the planting, and yeah, I'll see you in a minute. I also today went and got a new wheel and put it on my wheelbarrow, so I was pleased with that. The other one was beyond repair. It was all split, the inner tube and the outside of the tyre was worn as well. So and what I think I might do, I'll write it in my little diary book, What are we now? End of May. Probably at the end of June, I will interplant with some more runner bean seeds, because then I get another a succession sowing. What I normally do is do them all up, you know, and put them in the freezer. I found the culprits for the holes in these. They were underneath the trays, and you know, they were slug friends. I just hope these can get to a big stage before the slugs get on them as well. So yeah, that'll be a good enough watering because we've got the rain coming. I think that's it for today's video. In the next video, I'll take you around and show you what's in the garden, like a garden tour. That'll be in the next video. But I've loved it out here today, and it's probably like you know, the thought of, you know, doing loads and heavy lifting and getting on with the garden. But once you get out there, the time flies. I don't know where it goes. And it's lovely. Anyway, thank you lovely people for watching the video and for your comments and thumbs up and things like that. And I'll catch you in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye.
Why not come and join me on Facebook or Instagram? The link is in the description.